All right. Aloha, everybody. My name is Mauna Kea Movement, and I am here to do our first introduction to a series that we're going to be doing on Kānaka News NOW, dealing with uh, the voices that have been inspired by Mauna Āwakea Da Mauna. And so I hope that you will appreciate what we're doing here. We're going to be featuring individuals who are doing work in our Lāhui um, to have their own voices heard and um, to allow us to know who in our Lāhui is actually doing the hard work to uplift our Lāhui, to empower our Lāhui, to advocate for our Lāhui, to educate our Lāhui, and to basically just fight for us. And so while there's a lot of voices out there, a lot of loud voices out there, there are those voices that are consistently applying what they know in their own areas of expertise to uplift our Lāhui and to be there for our Lāhui. So we're looking forward to being able to do this as a gift to our Lāhui. I'm hoping to inspire our Lāhui to get active and to be a part of the process. We can sit at home and we can grumble all we like about the um, things that happened in the past, uh, things that's wrong with our society today. Um, Woe is me, and things will never change and whatnot. But things do change. I know personally from my own experience that things do change. And it is only when we decide as a Lāhui to get up and get active um, that things will change. So if you want to see positive change, if you want to see the rise of the Kānaka Nation, if you want to see um, us to reclaim our own homeland, then think of a strategy, think of a plan, and execute that. And then you will see change happen in your own life. So I look forward to doing this because I think it's a long time coming where we'll be actually be interviewing actual leaders who are in our Lāhui that have their own twists on how they want to move our nation forward. When Kamehameha sought to invade Oahu, and they had that battle of Nuuanu, it was said that 10,000 canoes had arrived for that battle. 10,000 canoes. That's a lot of canoes moving forward to accomplish one mission. And that is what inspired me to do this here today. To be able to understand that there's no one way to do it. But when we move with one purpose, we can accomplish the task. So I look forward to doing this. If you know about the Battle of Kalele Ka'anai, you will understand that it takes 10,000 canoes to move forward with one purpose. So everybody, you can have your own canoe and you can contribute to the advancement of Naka, and we can make a difference. Together, we're making a difference, So I look forward to doing this, and I hope that you will look forward to it too. Please provide us with your comments, your advice, your ideas, even your constructive criticism. Just remember now, be polite. Yeah. Practice kapoloha. And I don't mind. I don't mind the tough questions. I don't mind the constructive criticism, you know. Um, but you don't need to be nasty about it. Yeah, and just be righteous, bro. Be pono. Okay. All right. So that's what we have for you coming up. Um, I've already been in contact with a number of our leaders in Lāhui, and I first want to be able um, to display um, that it is our mana wahine that's out there, that's making the moves, that's doing the hard work, and I believe it's most appropriate in this male dominated Western culture to be humbled by mana wahine going forward. So I have a number of mana wahine that I'm in touch with that are doing the hard work, have been doing the hard work, have been consistent going forward. Auntie Maxine Kaolelio is there. Um, Heilani Sonora Pare, she's there with Kalahui um, Political Action Committee. We got Altira um, Patty Tankayo um, with Kalani Ole Partners. We have Nani Peterson that uh, is taking it in the courts. Did her first trial in Olelo, Hawaii that everybody missed. And I know I can say everybody missed because just myself and my wife was there to witness history in the making at the district court in Waianae Division on a traffic citation that she did. She took to trial in Olelo, Hawaii. That was aided by Kumuhina. That was amazing to watch. It's just amazing to watch. And to see our language alive and vibrant in the court system is an amazing thing. And I'm hoping that we'll have a lot of people that will come in and start to learn to do their trial in Olelo Hawaii. And in order to do that, you got to learn Olelo Hawaii. You see? All right. And so that is awesome. And then also Dr. Lynette Cruz, who's been active in Lāhui for decades. And I'm looking to interview her as well. And the work that she does with Malama Makua, the Kupuna Council Waianae. I mean, you're going to see the Kupuna Council Waianae is very active on the Waianae coast. And we're going to hear from leaders from there. Like, I'm hoping to interview Lena Suzuki, that's also a leader with Kupuna Council. And just this overall Manawahini that's active in the movement. So if you have a suggestion, send them in. You know, I'm hoping to go out to Waimanalo to interview Brother Bumpy and Brother Brandon Maka Awa to be able to have their voices also heard. And because they've been doing stuff for Lāhui for decades as well. And we have a lot of people out there. Moko Keawe, we got a lot of rebels out there. Kalehau Kamau, who is my own kumu. I respect her. I respect him as my kumu, because he's the one that told me straight in 1986. That we got to be fighting for our people. And when I got my paralegal certification, that was paid for the first $117 of the 1,050 that it took for me to do that, 1 quarter at a time. By the way, I was working in the prison work line, getting paid 25 cents an hour. I paid for my own course, but OHA got me started with a $117 donation to get my paralegal certification. And it was Kaleho who told me, said, now that OHA put money to help towards your education, I hope that you would use your skills to be able to help our people. And that's what I've been doing since 1988. And I'm going to continue to do that. And so that's where Ho'omaopono was birthed. That's where Premier Paralegal Services was birthed, and that's where I'll continue to go. And then we also have other leaders over there. I wanna be able to interview Brother Skippy Ioane and his daughter, um, to be able to have their voices heard as well. I'm looking to hear from um, Kepa Kael and his crew, to be able to have their voices heard as well. And I'm really looking forward to um, uh, uh, Kumu. Uh, what is, what is Andre Perez? First of all, I want to do Andre Perez as well, but Kalekoa Kael, yeah, Kumu Kalekoa Kael. But that'd be an awesome brother to interview, as well as Kemoku Kapu and his beautiful wife, Ui, for the work that they're doing on Maui. Uh, so hopefully we can get some funding support to be able to fly to the islands and to go to their um, turf, to be able to interview them on their own turf, right? And then and leaders in Molokai. I tell you, I'm really excited about Molokai. Molokai, I consider Molokai to be an independent nation. So if you ever heard me testify before the state legislature, whenever the topic of Molokai comes up, I always say the independent nation of Molokai. And because it, I believe it is where the that the foundation for the revival of our nation, the Kanaka nation, will come from Molokai. Of course, Waianae is up and coming and making moves to unite our nation. Moko Keawe doing their thing, Maui doing their thing. But it is Molokai that I believe, it's the first home recognized homestead um, in Ko Hawaii Pai'aina. And so I look forward to it. It's all good. Auntie Blanche, Auntie Blanche Wamanalo, doing with her Kahale program. We're looking to interview her as well. Um, and then there's Altera from Puel Communications, Liz. We'd like to be able to interview her as well. And for a second, turn the tables, because she does a lot to get our message out. And I'd like to be able to reciprocate by allowing her to get her message out as well. And so it's going to be an amazing time and learning experience for all of us, and an informative one, to be able to show that we can rise up. Everybody do their little thing on their own, um, and most of us do it on our own dime. We don't get paid. We don't get thousands of dollars to promote whatever. We just do it. We just do the hard work because it needs to be done, and I'm grateful for that. I'm hoping also to interview my own beautiful wife right here. She's right there trying to hide in a corner over here. Come on, baby. Come on, man. And this is my wife is a classic example of someone who has no cocoa to this, I know, but her love and her dedication is to our people. So it's not only going to be limited to Kanaka. It's going to be limited. I mean, it's going to be expanded to those who are also non-Kanaka, who doing the hard work, like Kat Brady, for example, little tiny Irish woman from the Bronx. Been fighting for our prisoners for decades. I'm looking to interview her. Henry Curtis, who's the head of Life of the Land, been fighting for Aina issues for a long time. And so there's a lot of people out there that's there to stand for us, who will fight for this, fight to keep Kanaka on the Aina and fight for our Aina. So we're grateful for everyone who contributes. Okay, so this is not just a Kanaka thing, it's for everybody who is contributing to the advancement of what I call the Kānaka Nation. And I hope that we can start to do that. Um, the times of the kings and queens are gone, but we live on to our last reigning monarch, Queen Lili'u Okolani, who said in her letter um, to America that until such time as you return back to your Christian principles, yeah, until such time, remember those words. Remember those words, okay? Because I will use it often. Until such time. What does that mean? For those of us who, for those of us who, hey, how's it going there, Tita Nani? All right. For those of us who continue to believe in the continuation of our kingdom, it is our beloved Queen, um, for whom we will never forget. My Puina, we will never forget what happened to her, right? And we live on because of her. We strive to keep the advancement going. So though she may be dead and buried, her legacy will live on for in our hearts forever. As long as there's a Kanaka alive, um, Queen Liliuokalani will live on forever as our leader. And because of that, um, those words, those few words of until such time, is the authority that we have to be able to advance our people and to advance our cause and to fight for the return of the control of our nation. Understand that it is the political structure that controls us, right? So we're not fighting against men. Um, we're fighting against a political structure, and we're trying to right the wrongs of the past. And you will hear me advancing one thing. If you don't know anything else about me, you will hear one thing on why I believe that when Hawaii State Supreme Court said in cases of the past, it said that whatever you feel about the creation of the state of Hawaii, it is and was legally created. I believe that is a false statement, and that's a false statement only in terms of American democracy, according to American law, according to um, uh, what the state Supreme Court has tried to ram down our throats, into us believing that it was legally created. Two grounds that I would like to share with you today that you can take to the bank. To be able to demonstrate that American democracy is nothing but disguised hypocrisy. So, two grounds on why I believe the state Supreme Court's ruling was wrong. That was wrong, and in violation of their own oath of office. And the first one is that the American legal realm has doctrines. They have doctrines, right, that govern the courts, right? They kind of have a force and effect of law. And one of those doctrines is called fruit of the poisonous tree, right? So fruit of the poisonous tree says that if the initial action was illegal, um, everything else that transpired after that, as a result of that illegal action, is also fruits of the poisonous tree. The poisonous tree being the illegal action, the initial illegal action, right? So if you understand that principle, how is it that the state of Hawaii can claim to be legally created when on two counts indictment by us, they cannot win? And the first count is that January 17, 1893 was the poisonous tree. The unlawful and illegal overthrow of our kingdom is something that cannot be debated, right? Because under America's own principles, on how they acquire territory according to their own laws. There's only two ways you can acquire territory: through war and through a treaty. We didn't go to war with America. Of course, America committed an act of war against us, right? When they used the Marines, thank you. When they used the Marines to come onto shore, surround our Queen's palace, and imprison her in her own home. That was an act of war, right? That was an act of war. But we did not engage in war with them, right? Our queen chose to stay pono, right? To hope that one day these wrongs will be made right, because we have an experience of that happening, right? With Kauikeoli, right? So we know that if we was to stay pono, that eventually the right will be made wrong. I mean, the wrong will be made right, right? Okay, so that act of war right there was the poisonous tree when they forcefully took our kingdom from us. There was no treaty of annexation. There is no treaty of annexation. There is no mutual. A treaty is between two parties. In this case, it would be America, and the other side would be Hawaii. They would come to the table and they would sign a treaty. That's how treaties work, right? So understand what a treaty is, right? There was no treaty. That Newlands resolution was no treaty, right? It was America shoving down our throats what they wanted. That was it. Now, the other thing that I point to, so well, let me finish that thought. So you have the January 17, 1893. From that was birthed the Republic of Hawaii, right? From that illegal act. From that was birthed the territory of Hawaii, right? They they birthed that. That's a bastard child of the Republic of Hawaii. The territory, right, is the bastard child of the Republic. The state of Hawaii is the bastard child of the territory. And why is that? Why is that? Because there was a fictitious vote that occurred in 1959 that nobody over here in Hawaii really celebrates, right? Nobody, there's no big thing about it. It's only those who want to be American that pays attention to it. Kanaka, we don't pay attention to August 21st, right? Because that vote was fraudulent. Because the voice of the Kanaka was not heard in that vote. In that vote, they only had two choices: to remain a territory or to become a state in the Union. It was set up specifically for the vote to go one way. Because had they put on a ballot to return to being a kingdom, right, there would have been a whole different vote. Because I know from personal experience, my mother had told me the mo'olelo behind that vote. My mom used to run down Kaka'ako. She was running the streets as a young teenager, and she remembered that the advertiser, the big roll of white paper that they used to print newspapers. They had rolled the roll all the way down from Baratania all the way down to Nimitz, right down Bishop Street. There was a Nuwanu. They rolled it all the way down Nuwanu, and people was able to put on the write on the paper, um, if they like be a part of America. And the words that my mother wrote on top there was "fuck you." If you know my mom, my mom speak fluent street French. Yeah? I am her son, and she wrote that as a Kanaka. She rejected the very premise of us either becoming America or staying a territory. She was not for either of those. My grandpa was part of the first Hawaiian regiment in World War One that was just in Hawaii for, I guess you would call it the what's it, National Guard, right? Today, my grandpa was part of that, right? And he rejected Americanism. So it's in my bloodline to continue to reject Americanism. So it is with that two grounds right there that indicts the Hawaii Supreme Court. You lied to our people. You said that you were legally created and you were not. By your own doctrine, we indict you. Your own doctrine, the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, indicts you because you were created out of something that was illegal from the very inception, ab initio, right? So your acts were void ab initio at the very inception of that illegal act of January 17, 1893. So there's my case, and I would love for all you legal scholars in America to try to debate that. Try to debate how your own legal doctrine doesn't apply to your illegal actions. Okay, and then explain to me how the vote was valid, right? How was the vote valid, right? When it didn't include for us to be able to maintain our political authority in the kingdom. How is that possible? You just totally obliterated our involvement. So who did the vote come from? Where did the vote come from? From who? From the military people that you jam packed into the islands when the vote was taken? To all the immigrants that you brought in to have them stand for America, right? The promise of America, right? Which is ironic because today America hates immigrants. They hate immigrants. Hawaiians never hated immigrants. We accepted everybody, right? So I see my time is running low here. These are thoughts that I want you to think about as we go forward. And as we learn, we seek to learn from those voices on the front line who've been doing their part for our Kanaka. I wish you all well. I wish you to stay blessed and to continue to believe. If you look at history, even the British Empire, they had a saying once was, the sun would never set on the British Empire because they had taken over countries all around the globe. So no matter where they went, their flag was flown during the sun, when the sun was up, on everywhere around the globe. But look at them today. The sun had long set on the British Empire. All empires come to its end. And I'm hoping that we can make a difference in this little stretch of rock in the middle of the ocean to also set our people free. All right? Aloha. Everybody stay blessed. Love, peace, and happiness, y'all. We out of here.